Okay, so moving on to part 3 of the readout, we're going to move on to the Wingmakers' definition of the sovereign integral network. The sovereign integral network, brackets SIN, already exists, indeed has always existed. However, there has not been a way for it to connect or interface with your technologies. Terra Earth has created technologies that are largely mechanistic and electrical in nature, and it is just beginning to understand electromagnetic energy fields and holographic technology. Regrettably, when technologies are in their infantile stages of development, they are often conformed to a military or economic control application, and this is the case with these emerging technologies. SIN cannot interface with technologies bearing such an application, not because it is impossible technologically, but because it is undesirable ethically. SIN is actually a subatomic network of light-encoded filaments that exist in all dimensions of the multiverse. Think of SIN as an infinite number of threads of light issuing from source reality, and, like a web connecting every life form at its entity level to all other entities and Prime Creator, this is an organic network that is utilized by Prime Creator to transmit knowledge to entities and to receive knowledge from entities. SIN will eventually be interfaced with Olin technology, but this will not happen for several hundred years. The interface is too far beyond both your technology and understanding of cosmology, and no planetary system can be fitted to interface with SIN until it is absolutely pure in its content and application. Only Prime Creator makes this decision as to when a planetary system can become a node of SIN. This is the core purpose of Wingmakers, to help Terra Earth become a node on SIN before its opportunity to interface has passed. Each entity is a node of SIN, but so few realize this connection exists other than through what they read or hear. The connection is real and timeless and occurs at the core, innermost aspect of the entity, where beats the replica heart of Prime Creator. This is the repository of Prime Creator and exudes its unique vibration like a radio tower sends its signals in all directions. Even your physicists have found preliminary evidence of SIN in their research with their so-called superstring theory. We assure you, however, that this network will eventually replace all other networks for the primary reason that it is the conduit into timelessness. And this is the destination that draws all humanoid species initially through a technological portal similar to your internet, which eventually leads to a biomorphic portal consisting of the encoded light filaments leading to the non-worlds of source reality. When a human species transforms its genetic mind to utilize the sovereign integral network, this then becomes the ship upon which it sails the seas of the cosmos. In this way, the species is allowed to become gods of newly created worlds in which it can reenact the entire process of the grand experiment, utilizing its knowledge base and wisdom that was achieved in the previous stage of its existence. On a grand scale, this process is cast in countless worlds across the multiverse, and orchestrating all of this wondrous activity of creation is Source Intelligence and SIN. Source Intelligence is the infinite energy consciousness of Prime Creator that is cast into all worlds, all dimensions, all realities, all life forms, all times and places. Source Intelligence is the Prime Creator projected into all that is. Source Intelligence, in effect, is the eyes and ears of Prime Creator, and its role is principally involved in expressing, upholding, and sustaining the will of Prime Creator. On a more personal level, it is a liberating force of energy intelligence that serves to accelerate the expansion of consciousness and assist those who desire to unlimit themselves. So this is kind of like, as I interpret it, this is an expression of that link to a sort of creative force, or a force that helps you move forward with where you feel you've been guided to go. It's something like that. And in a number of these definitions here, I think there are strong parallels with concepts that are in Buddhism, Hinduism, and other similar religions and similar patterns of trying to explain what the soul and the mind and how it all fits together. This is, to me, is a more concise and more focused description of all that. So we will move on. All that is. Source intelligence is the projected intelligence of Prime Creator. Within this consciousness exists the synthesis and distillation of all that is. It is an infinite library of knowledge and experience that can be tapped into through attunement and creative will. While source intelligence is the vehicle of cosmological unity, it also holds the information of all that is, and circulates this information and creative empowerment to all entities who are willing to reach for it and utilize it for the expansion of consciousness. Universe of Wholeness is the aggregate of all dimensions and realities. It is unified and interconnected through source intelligence. It is dynamic and always in a state of experimental change and evolution. It is simply too vast and dynamic to comprehend or to establish a measurement of any kind. Fields of vibration. The universe of wholeness is a vast field of energy that is composed of innumerable dimensions of perception and existence. Within this macro-universe are dimensions of existence that are dominant realms of experience, like the third-dimensional reality in which human life is rooted. Each dimension has its unique qualities of experience, and these are known as fields of vibration, because the vibratory rate of each dimension is the determining factor of its existence. The higher the vibratory rate of a dimension, the more expansive and unlimiting it is. Within the universe of wholeness, there are, for all practical purposes, an infinite number of fields of vibration that an entity or sovereign integral can attune to and utilize as an experimental or dominant reality. Source reality. Prime Creator exists in source reality. Source reality is the dimension of consciousness that is always pushing the envelope of expansion, the leading edge of development and evolution for the whole of consciousness. In this realm of dynamic expansion is always found source reality. It can be likened to the inner sanctum of Prime Creator, or the incubator of cosmological expansion. Sovereignty is a state of completeness and interconnectedness. It is recognizing that as a human being you have an individuated spirit force that animates your physical, emotional and mental aspects, and that, through this spirit, you are complete and connected to all other life forms through the universal spirit consciousness (source intelligence). Sovereign beings understand that they alone create their reality and they are responsible for their life experience. They also understand that all other life forms are equally sovereign, that they also create their unique realities. Sovereignty allows that the source of liberating information is contained within the self, and all that is needed to create new realities is also contained within the self. It is the point of empowerment and connection to all through the frequency of love. Source codes. Source codes are embedded activators that are present within the entity consciousness. They serve the specific purpose of the awakening the human instrument to the multidimensionality of the entity and the liberating information that is stored within the entity consciousness. Source codes are somewhat analogous to the genetic coding of DNA, to the extent that source codes activate specific blueprints of transformation that accelerate and facilitate the expansion of consciousness. In effect, source codes catalyze the awakening of the human instrument and encourage it to make the quantum leap from a socialized human to a sovereign entity that is aware of its connection to all that is. Now this bit is interesting. I think I'm going to break here and put this in the next video because the hierarchy, I think you will find this definition discussion quite interesting. So I'm going to break it there for now and go on to the next video.